is that?
August 4th, 1996.
The day is bright. I wake up to the smell of the summer sun flowing through my bedroom window, as well as the freshly washed clothes that my mother placed on my Lego box moments before I open my eyes. I look at my clock with a smile. It was 10:10 a.m. Now, do you remember waking up as a 9-year-old kid during the summer? Not to mention, it was 1996, where the sun was so bright. If you know what I'm talking about, then you're in the right place. 12:12 p.m. Just a suburban family in a cul-de-sac. Yes, a cul-de-sac. A bunch of kids, playing and exploring. Excuse my humorous narrative. Now, when you have a cul-de-sac of a bunch of your friends playing kickball, basketball, jailbreak, and super soaker fights, you pretty much have nailed the best life possible. The best moments of your life. Now, of course, this beautiful narration, story, that only exists because of our brave soldiers. Our brave soldiers that have gave their lives to this land for our freedom. What's left? Do you know how many people that are dead right now, that have lived where you're sitting right now? Myself and 4 of my friends are walking in the woods behind my house. Since I was born, there was always the welcome doors of the woods. It presented itself. 12:45 p.m. We tread the trails. I had a $30 paintball gun from Walmart. Kyle had an air horn, and Jeff and Mark were right behind us. Now we've been through these woods plenty of times, and now that we've came this far into my story, I would like to bring the topic up of the woods behind my parents' house. These woods are not like your typical woods. And you know what? You just caught yourself in the web of what this whole project is about and why I've started this. I'm really hoping that the end of that sentence that I just said to you didn't trigger you to make you think that this was some cliche or some corny presentation of lore. I don't care what you think, but what I'm about to tell you is simply the truth. But like I mentioned before, the energy that was between all of us was determined not to die anytime soon. Back to the story. Jeff asks, have you ever been past the double trees? Immediately, Kyle and I could have answered soon. Yes, we've explored it. It reaches to the dead circle. Jeff says, yes, I've heard you say that before. But have you explored the second trail that curves to the right? My brother went that way and frantically turned back. That's when I told Jeff I have gone back there. However, once I saw the bathtub, I got freaked out and left. The whole group asked me what bathtub. I immediately asked everyone, do you want to see the bathtub? Now I immediately get the sense of sickness and exhaustion, and somehow I convinced the whole crew to go back to my backyard and hand everyone some snacks. Cheez-Its, Kool-Aid, Chips Ahoy. It's so funny how I remember this. It was so refreshing to do that, but I just saw such curiosity and concern on everyone's face. And since it was still daylight out, and after 10 minutes of eating some snacks and playing in my backyard, I say to everyone, do you want to go down that trail? Everyone agrees. It's now 3 p.m. and we're all walking towards the trail. This time, our energy and our motivation is doubled. Doubled as in, we've actually reached the bathtub before. We could even think we were on that actual trail. ... Now. I've seen this bathtub before. But I didn't really look at it the way I did at this particular time. Both myself and neighbor Mark look into the tub and we see 2 bloody towels. We both tell our friends that there's bloody towels in there, and it immediately strikes a situation that we were all not ready for. ... Now. You have to remember, this was more than 2 decades ago, and I can't remember the specifics. However, I do remember my 3 other friends running away once this was discovered. I did feel very responsible for bringing everyone here because I have explored this trial before, but I've never seen what was actually in this tub. After seeing the bloody towels, I immediately start running towards the exit. However, after a few steps, I immediately look behind me, and Mark was still staring at the tub. Now, Mark was 3 years younger than me, and I felt very responsible for his well-being, so I ran back to him with the purpose of grabbing his hand to follow me the way out. But when I grabbed his hand and looked at his face was pale white. Not only was his face just pale white, his face was frozen. Frozen to the point where his mouth made his lips like some type of weird aperture. Now I'm telling you, at 37 years old, I've never seen something more scary in my entire life. His eyes were black. Now that I'm 37 years old, I can kind of read people and see their souls in more of an adaptive way. I mean, I basically think that's just a way of growing up and connecting with people. I'm saying this because I am taking myself back to that memory and realizing that his energy and my knowledge that I have today was definitely negative. I was too blown away and distracted that I started running away, but then I felt bad. I ran back and grabbed Mark, and I pulled him close to me as I ran us both out of the woods. Now that we've come this far, I would like to inform the listener. This bathtub was a cast iron claw tub from the late 1800s, and I know for a fact I felt the same thing Mark felt when I looked inside of it. The ending for the story, when I wrote it the first time, ended with me walking Mark out of the woods, never seeing him again. I ever forget. Now, if you like this story, please like, subscribe, and share. My next story is actually the most magical story I've witnessed in my entire life, involving this area. Stay tuned.